Hello, Leonard. Hello, Sunny. And
Hey,
hello for whoever is watching the recording. Most of you asked for the recording, and so I'm also saying hello to you in the future somehow. This is the first monthly call of the Radical Freedom research that I started by myself, consciously declared, I'm doing a radical freedom experiment 1 month and a half. It's actually 2 months ago. And I started a crowdfunding, and part of the crowdfunding project it is to share and to document the path while I'm walking this unknown territory and share. So not exactly you follow the same path, but because I think radical freedom is such a unique and specific experiment for each person. From your background, your history, your age, where you are in your life, what is blocking you, like where you are. It makes to be so unique for each person. And but the purpose is to inspire or to give to unfold possible territories inside of this container that you might maybe want to explore and to touch. So this is the purpose of this space, and my intention is to keep going 1 month, one call a month until December of 2024. So it'll be around 12 calls initially is the intention. And one thing that I'm noticing about radical freedom is that the things change so fast. Like I'm making a commitment, and then the the interested or the unfolding it's happening, and then the things just change, and I'm in the edge of discovering the changing my mind with the commitment and the commitment of the inner structure of keeping one thing, like keeping my word, and the flow of this changing and finding a place in between, changing my mind and the commitment and keeping my word. Uh, and the struggling about that is a lot, like of of how, when I change my mind, where I'm changing, it's because my grumbling want to just like, I don't give a shit, like it's been uncomfortable, let's do something else. So I'm noticing where this things comes from. And for the, yeah, for that space, I didn't prepare anything because I thought, well, it's a radical freedom space, and it would be really weird if I have a script or like a plan to navigate with you this space. So I'm coming a lot of fear of be just be with you. And yeah, and mm, yeah, well, it's coming impulse now about fear. Where I am. My hand is cold, and I'm practicing to do it. This call standing, and I noticing my feet also cold, and they fear like electricity in the body. And I want to use that fear to navigate the territory of like the fear of being free. What I'm facing is that there's a lot of fear of being radical free in my system. The fear of being able to choose anything. So yesterday I was in a call with Sunny and Millicent. We have a 3-cell to meet weekly, now 2 times a week actually. And you're exploring, they were exploring, I was holding space for Millicent explore her mechanism of choosing. Like how does it work? The structure of choosing. What happens when deciding? And what I got, it's that we build up a lot of strategies to limit our choices from what we can choose to where to go. And I think the root of this limitation is fear. I'm scared of being able to choose anything because then I like what will happen. There's the emotion, a lot of emotional fear of taking the risks and the consequences of the risks. And I feel fear about choosing wrong and regretting to what I choose. So if I'm not free, I'm going to the no. I'm numbing the fear. So my proposal is to us, as we are just three, we go each other, and I suppose we have like 4 minutes to navigate this fear and let the fear unfold. Your fears, maybe emotional, maybe feelings about why you're so scared of being free from your own rules, from your own containments. Why so scared to choose? To choose from options that is not the boxes that you have, but to choose from everything. Yeah. Do you want to go in that exploration?
Yes.
Yes.
I will take care of the time, and my proposal is we go rounding, and 4 minutes each. Who want to start?
I start.
Okay, go.
When I can freely choose from everything, then the first thing that comes, I feel fear to do the wrong thing, to not choose the right thing, that I would make a mistake. So it's so safe to choose something that is already given. I feel fear to choose freely, because then I cannot blame anyone for my actions. Then I feel fear to judge myself, actually, for what I'm doing, grading.
And notice the necessity to add distinction of feeling and emotion. So also name it while you are navigating.
These are emotions that I'm mentioning. I feel fear to choose freely because I feel fear to discover that what I chose I don't want, or even like discovering that what I wanted is not really what I want. It's like a failure. Yeah. resonates with me. It's like sometimes I rather would not take a choice because then I need to face the consequences of my choices. And it seems also to be an emotion. I feel fear to choose freely because I'm afraid to choose freely because I'm afraid to get overwhelmed by the vast amount of possibilities. I'm afraid there is just so much. And I'm afraid to choose because that means like choose to not do a lot of things.
Well, go to the end, share this last part.
Yeah, it's about I'm afraid to let go of possibilities.
Thank you.
And this is a feeling.
Thank you. For me, I feel scared. I feel really scared to not know. I feel scared to choose something that is unfamiliar. And somehow, like, for me, this is an emotional fear. Like, as soon as I don't know it, then I'm scared. I feel scared to make my own choice. So yeah, it's also about I feel scared I will make the wrong choice. And this is emotional. Yeah. I also feel scared that I make the right choice. I feel scared that I choose something and then I find out that I'm maybe really good at this or something like that. And then my life changes. This is also emotional. I feel scared to be radically free because I feel scared that then I cannot relate with other people anymore. I feel scared of losing connection. And that's emotional. And feel scared to be radically free because like feel scared of how I would then make money. This is like an emotional fear of money. It's like, how would I?
Go one layer deeper. What is the connection of being radical free and money?
I feel scared that being radically free, like I feel scared that I will be radically free in a naive way and totally forget about money.
Mm.
And I also feel scared that my gremlin has a hold of like being radically free. And feel scared of making gremlin choices. Feels scared to be radically free.
To the end. Go to this last one.
Yeah, because then my future is unknown. Like it's like I have no idea where I will be. Even like tomorrow or in the next hour. And that feels more like a feeling. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunny.
Thank you, Sunny.
I go next. I feel scared of being radical free because then I will get lost in the possibilities. It comes the picture of being in a shopping mall with all the places, and I'm like, where to go? I can go anywhere. I feel fear of being radical free and choosing from inside and making unpredicted movies that scares people, that people don't understand why I'm doing it. Like, I feel scared of being unreasonable and unpredictable to people, and then I feel fear of they not being reliable, and then people not wanting to collaborate with me or create or proposing me things. And I think it's there is emotion and feeling in it. I think the feeling part is the fear of not being reliable, and the emotion is choosing that if I choose from inside, people will not want to relate. I feel scared of being radical free because then I I will not have excuse to not have what I want, to not, like, I feel scared of not having any justification or reason or excuse to not have money, for example, or to not going where I want, or not speaking with who I want, because I feel scared of being my fault. And it's an emotion of this, well, if I'm not creating, it's my fault. This is still this piece of old way of responsibility. I feel scared of being radical free because uh, because then it's can be fun and light and open, and I feel scared of I feel scared of pulling, like being too much mess and pulling so much, like a lot of attention, and I feel scared of people being envy and attacking me or doing things to me, and it's an emotional fear. Okay, I'm going to the last one. I feel fear of being radical free, and I feel scared of disappointing, or I feel scared of feeling sad of the peeps. Like, I feel scared of feeling sad of letting dying the another possibilities, and letting go and closing the door, like closing all the doors. Like, when choosing this one, I'm closing all the doors. I'm scared of just like closing. So I rather prefer to let a little bit open. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I notice there's a lot of emotions there. And I think all this, almost all the things we discovered while speaking, it is the reasons we use to not be radical free. It's like the brake, like a car, it's driving, and it's like we are this car, we are driving life, and we have the full speed, the full range of possibility to drive from 0 to, I don't know, 100 or whatever the range is, and there's the brake. It's like, the car that drives is like doing like that. It's my sensation, and it's sometimes for me like that, and is that flowing in all the range of experience. And it's all of this is good reasons. Like, it probably, yeah, all of this is doorways for emotional healing process that useful to navigate. And what I'm noticing is that about radical freedom research, it's about a lot about experimentation. Yes, emotional healing process, but experimentation of testing out things, new things. And I noticed that, for example, you said, Leonard, that you're scared of overwhelmed by the possibilities. And I noticed the connection of this with anger. For example, with the skill of using the anger to choose. Or the one I've also shared that fear of letting go of the possibilities. So it's the fear of feeling the feelings. Yeah, these are some thoughts I got while navigating with you. What did you discover while listening, like holding space and navigating in yourself?
When I was listening to you, Gabriela, I found another fear that I have, and it's like the fear of experiencing the ecstasy of life. It's like the fear of just being joyful. So there's something about that also I notice is a big break in me. That the choice must rather be difficult or hard or challenging, because I'm scared if it's just really ecstatic and joyful. Yeah.
What I discovered is the connection with school. Like, I need to do it the right thing, and it limits so much wanting to do it right or optimize everything. It's like coming so strong from school. And I resonate with this period of experimenting, to actually not do the right thing and just experiment what you experience when you do something else. It's not right, not the right thing. What modern culture at least says, what is the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and I have a thought about this right and wrong. I think also you also mentioned, Sunny, and like fear of doing the wrong choice, and then you said also the fear of doing the right choice and having changes in your life, and then like what we're scared of these changes.
Yeah.
And this whole thing about right and wrong, good and bad, it's becoming so weird for me. I don't know, or so unbelievable as I'm experimenting and traveling. It's really supporting me to have this cultural distance, because I don't know, especially when I was in Bali I was with a family there, living with them, and they were like doing things so different from what I know about the world. For example, they're eating sitting on the floor, and the woman and the man were the whole day just at home with the children, planting and then hanging out in the garden, and then working again in the plantation, and then the woman was taking care of the house, and this was their life. I asked, what do you do? And they said, we do that the whole day. And I don't see them taking the cell phone any moment. They're just like hanging out this. And for me, this was so different. This was like so weird. Weird because of I grew up in a city, and the speed of life and all the like going out to work outside, and then children go to school, the whole thing. And then it was like building a gap inside of me. It was like, how could I say that this is wrong if this is the way they are living? So somehow the experience of things so different from my box has been building up a distance of this construct of good and bad somehow. And it's becoming more clear how insane it is. Right and wrong, good and bad. Because this is based on rules, like good and right, it's based on rules. That design, and it's from outside. So this is a hint, is that this is coming from outside. And school is a place where we learn to be expert in being rewarded by external motivation. So to take the good grade, to do the thing to the teacher. So it makes sense to the compass be in right and wrong. And my question is, like, what is the path of healing of this construct, of moving out from this construct to reality? Because being in that two constructs, it's fantasy world. It's not reality. Right and wrong, good and bad. So what has been that you've been experimenting, or that has been building or building inner reference inside of you to navigate life and move out from good and bad? Because good and bad is a way to bypass the fear to navigate reality. And I know you've been experimenting already a lot, maybe not directly here, but I would like to distill what you've been experimenting in reality about that, to heal that wound of school.
Is your question if I looked at healing the wound from school about right and wrong and good and bad?
No, it is what you've been experimenting, what process you discovered that empower, heal, and move out from that construct.
Thank you. But I've been experimenting with taking my next steps, and with that I mean, like, I have many different possibilities of the place where I will move to. And what I've been experimenting with is writing them down on a piece of paper so that I have the possibilities kind of like visually in front of me, like the possibilities that I opened up. And then I energetically feel into it. So I really like feel into one possibility at the time. And then how it works in me is that I kind of get like an energetic move forward. And that for me, that means a yes. And when I look at another possibility and I get more an energetic, like leaning backwards, this is my no. So this is so far what I have about my inner reference, that is not the yes or no from the anger, from the center. But for me, it's more an energetic inner movement.
So what I'm hearing is that you're learning to read your energetic body, the answer from your energetic body.
Yes. Yeah. And
the way
especially
the way you get that is from this movement of leaning forward or leaning back.
Yes. And I don't physically move, but it's like internally. It almost, when it's an energetic leaning forward, and it also, like, it feels like a yes. It's like, oh, I want to step towards this. Yeah. It's kind of like a push or a pull.
Mm-hmm.
And then the pull is like, oh, yes. And then when I get the push, it's more of like, oh, no, not that. I have the same with food, for example. Like, yeah, I want to eat that. No, not that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is what my inner reference navigation that so far works the, I wouldn't say the best, but yeah, that how I've been making my choices in this moment. Yeah.
Thank you.
What my experiment is now, I just started with it, and is to for 6 months not not asking someone for doing the right thing. Like, I just decide for myself and find out how I decide, and then I write down I go with my own impulses and train my inner voice to become louder by refusing to get any kind of feedback for a while. And then I write down what I've created, and when I'm completely stuck, then I reach out for possibilities when I don't create some other possibilities for me anymore. But yeah, it's a practice to make the voice louder inside of me. And there are a lot of different ways how I can decide. It's I noticed that I also have doing the right thing for choosing the right decision method. Also, I apply it like that for so do the right decision. So I need to write decision method, and there are also endless numbers of ways how to decide, like the one you described, Sanne, or sometimes like this resistance inside of myself when my body closes, like really like this, asking my physical body, like, what do you want? And he has maybe a completely different answer than my emotional body or my energetical body.
Yes, and I feel fear when we go to like to the mental part of analyzing that there is all the possibilities of choosing from different places, because yes, there is different places where we decide, but there are some ways of this of choosing that that is connected with the core, like that is coming from inside. And I heard you, Sana, saying that you are choosing not from your anger, is more from your energetic, and I sense that actually it's totally your center, like this. There is no reason or thing connected with it, with the yes or no taste. Or when you ask, as you said, Leonard, when you ask to your physical body, sometimes don't make any sense. Like, well, one day, it was like 5 days ago, my physical body said, I don't want to eat. And there was no reason, like, that and then comes all the stories, and I'm sick. Why I don't want to eat? Because I have the rule I have to eat 2 times a day. So then it was contradictory, but the impulses that comes from inside like that, it's not, sometimes doesn't make sense, or for the mind. And I think this is part of the process of healing, of not putting the center in the mind. And one experiment was really expansion for me was hitchhiking, because I received so much beeps, like so much no's, that the only option was to move on, was to keep going. So each time that a car passed and I put my finger and he just kept driving, it was this no in my system, like, oh, it's like they don't want me. And then all the things like, they don't want me. Why they didn't stop? Why, like, they have space in the car? Like, why and questioning their no, or I have to do something more to they stop. And then there was a moment that I stopped. I did the experiment of trying different things. So like putting my finger and then like celebrating and then doing some clown work, like being sad, and and then I started to notice the different reactions from people. Like people started to laughing inside the car, and I started to have fun with it because it was not just like hitchhiking anymore, but I was communicating with people in the highway while they were passing. And somehow this experiment of hitchhiking, it rewired somehow the cave inside of me of experimentation from the root of trying out several times different things and not attaching to the result of one single thing, but just moving on and moving on. And I had so much fun with it. And I think becoming an experimenter again is a deep way of healing the wound of good and bad. Because an experimenter can't the word of an experimenter doesn't exist wrong. It just exists discovery. It's just like, this creates that. Okay. It's simple. So since the hitchhiking, I'm declaring this, I am an experimenter, and this is that I'm experimenting now too. I already did that in the past, but was quite from the lens of, I don't know, I am a possibilitator, I have to be an experimenter. It was not coming so much from inside. And now it's coming from the experience of, or the necessity of being an experimenter. And it's totally different because I'm discovering the way I am an experimenter. Like, what is the experimenter that comes from me? And this has been one of the things that has been turning the inner volume up. So I was with this question, why am I really researching radical freedom? Because I was scared of one of the purpose I found out was, well, it's because it's a hot topic in possibility management. So I'm giving my center, and just as I did already in the past, just researching the next topic that is hot topic, because I receive appreciation and it's like, oh, like my gremlin feeds on this. Oh, and I found another unconscious purpose of researching that. And then this brought me to ask why and I'm really researching that. So this is a question that I like to use, like, what is your facet? Like, where this research really comes from you? And what I found out for me is that my necessity is to turn up the volume of my inner wisdom. So I found out that I have two plugins of volume in my chest. One is the outside volume, and the another is the inside volume. And this outside volume, it was really high, like 90% when I get in contact. And the outside is like all the informations are consuming informations, spaces, consuming in conversations, and also just like taking feedback from everyone. So one person say one thing and another person say a totally opposite thing. And I want to fit in the both. so it was this kind of level, and the inside was like 10. So I was not listening this yes and no that come from this energetic sense you were describing, Sandy, or the impulses, or like, what do I want? And I got blank. And it was this fear of, I don't know what I want to eat, what I want to do now, where do I want to go, where do I want to speak. It was blank. And the clarity was like, wow, okay, I want to turn up and balance out in a way that is that I can hear, that I can listen to. And this has been my experiment, like the purpose of the research right now. And I'm feeling scared because I sense that I'm speaking and it's, yeah, I sense that it's missing something in the space, because I'm just speaking, and I want to check if you have some impulse to the space. You have more 15 minutes to play in this territory.
I don't have an impulse for the space.
I'm feeling stuck. I'm feeling scared, actually, of just speaking, and uh uh yeah, and then I yeah, I think it's emotional fear of being boring and occupying too much space. So I put that aside, and I checking what do I want right now. Yeah, I want to keep sharing, and I want to share about thing totally different from the line where I was going. This is what I want.
God.
And I'm getting hot now. So something is alive in me. It is the ways I use fear, like I use things to bypass the fear. So the fear is a topic that is alive in general. This facet is, for example, how I use money to bypass the fear of asking or relating. And when I was in Indonesia, one of the purpose was to experiment, live without money. And I discovered that facet of the fear of scarcity in my construct, that it's a lot about fear of not having the skills to communicate, or the fear of not being able to ask or to make a proposal that is interested for me and for the person, or to negotiate, or to ask something. And when I was knocking in the doors, I did the experiment of knocking the door and asking, I am Gabriela, and I'm here, and I want to exchange, like I want to be with you and learn about your culture. not by speaking, but by being with you. And I can help you with cleaning and with housing and with being with the people. And then when the third woman said yes for it, it was this thing about giving and receiving. It's like, well, okay, she had a yes, I will be in her house, so I have to give something. And it is this transactional, like how we learn to make the relationships transactional. So you give me that, no, and I receive that. I give you to get that. I give you that space, and I will get money. Or I give you that food, and I will get you helping me in the kitchen. And what I could experience with her is that in that family, it was that the way they live is from the center of I am you and you are me. So this is central in their culture. And I was trying to help her with the things, and she was like, no, you don't need to do that because you were already giving by being here. And this for me was so weird. Like I wanted to do something. And I got liquid in that experience about that I have ways of bypassing the fear of relating and being intimacy with people that I don't know. But in reality, what I discovered there in this middle of nowhere in this village, and this built a lot of this inner reference in me, is that no matter where I am, there is this possibility of connecting and asking for anyone, anything. And the person might say no. At the first two houses said no. Like they were like, no, it's weird. Like, but there is the possibility of asking.
When you say that, I can connect with voices, like rules in my head. Like, you should not do this. It's not okay to go to a house and ask the people something about it. Something like that, like parent ego state voices. And also the fear of getting a no when I ask such a bold thing. This is what's coming up when you share that.
Yeah, I would say that the fear of receiving the no is pretty accurate. I don't know. I received no's, a lot of no's. I think it's a way of changing the relationship with receiving no's. Like no is no, and it's okay. It was what I saw there.
Yeah, and comes also the fear of people are not able to say no. I'm coming from a culture, a family culture, where I was like getting blamed when I asked for something. That's is not okay to ask for. Like, because you bring my family member in a position where the person needs to say no, and it's totally uncomfortable. So it's absolutely impolite to ask somebody to say no. Like, I'm overstepping the boundaries of the other person because there is no boundary actually happening. Yeah, I'm inspired by you, by hearing that you use this kind of non-linear ways to yeah, to find a way without being with money. Thank you.
When you're speaking about the no and the family, like I thought, well, your family has superpowers of reading minds because they can read if the person has already the no before they ask. The telepathy, like I look at you and I think the question and I already know that you will say no. So I even not ask. We are going to the end, and I want to check if you want to share some last words or yeah, before we close this space today.
Yes. I wanna add something to your hitchhiking experiment. Because also for me, I've been hitchhiking quite for some time in New Zealand. And I started doing the experiment of not only like asking for a ride, but setting the intention of what kind of conversations I want to have with the people. Because being in the car together is such a great container for intimacy and connection. So I just want to put that out there as a possibility to really have like inspirational, interesting conversations, or set intentions of like, oh, I would really like to go to the beach and then go hitchhiking and see what you find. Yeah.
Yeah, you can build your circle hitchhiking here
Yes.
in New Zealand.
Yes.
Yeah, the first couple I got hitchhiking, they stopped, like the traveling we use, I don't know, 3 hours. We spent 7 hours because they stopped in the nephew house to drink tea, and they stopped in the beach to show me the colorful rocks and the big rocks that look like elephants, and they stopped in also in a panoramic field to look at. They stopped to see the sails. It was the first time I saw the sails, you know, this and this, and
Oh,
we stayed there looking at the and these animals laying down in the rock like they really look like, I thought that they were deaf. And he said, no, they're just sleeping. They sleep like that. And I by myself, I would never, my box will never drive me in that places
yeah.
that these people drove. So yeah, I hitchhike in countries that you feel that is not prohibited and you feel a yes for. Here in New Zealand, I felt a big yes for it. Thank you for this container, for this space. I'm glad to spend this morning with you, for your night, Leonard.
Yeah, thank you for sharing some of your insights with us that you collected on your path.
See you. Bye.
See you.
Bye.